Lore Together is proud to be part of the Boss Rush Games Network. Feel free to find out more at bossrushgames.com/network. Hi, I'm Safi.
And I'm Mystic.
And this is Lore Together. This is the podcast where a husband and wife team go over all the storytelling, world building, and characters of video games. Because that's what we like to do together. We lore together.
Yep, and this is episode 140.
Yes, and I hope you all understand that I'm braving through this episode with a burnt tongue because I could not resist a potato wedge from the microwave.
I have a cut tongue from a potato chip, so this is going to be great.
Potatoes are the enemy, everyone. Protect your mouths.
Before we get into the episode, if you'd like to contact us, you can do that in a couple different ways. Instagram, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Reddit, YouTube, Steam, and Discord down in the description below.
Yay.
Or you can contact us via email at loretogether@gmail.com. Or check out our website at loretogether.com.
I know. It's so simple sometimes, just having a website. We didn't have one for years, so it's exciting for us.
So exciting we forget to mention it almost every episode.
No, I wouldn't say every episode.
And if you'd like to support the podcast, there's a couple ways you can do that. First is 5 stars, thumbs up, wherever you're listening. We appreciate it. Whatever it is, wherever you're listening, we appreciate it. The other way is through Patreon at patreon.com/loretogether, where you can pay a per-episode pledge to get early access to episodes, exclusive access to some Let's Plays, voting rights for other public Let's Plays, as well as access to mini-episodes, which we always have one coming, but it's when do we get to it?
Well, some of us are doing creative pursuits.
Yes.
You know, Mystic has his full-time job of creative work, and I have my book stuff, including my debut sci-fi novel, Mother Revolution, which asks the question, would you free a people if their shackles were encrypted in code? P.S. It's available to patrons at the $2 and up level, so if you want to be able to get the EPUB and also enjoy the exclusive content to the podcast, 2 birds with 1 stone, we would love for you to be there with us in Patreon.
That was a smooth segue.
I know! The burnt tongue is surprisingly smooth right now. But without further ado, Mystic has suffered greatly researching this episode, if he's to be believed, and I've tried to give him some sympathy, but now we see, did he actually suffer, or was it all hype?
The long play for this game, if you want to watch someone play it without commentary, is over a day long.
Oh yeah, we've played games like that before. Like, that's not impossible.
It's not impossible. The wiki is not terrible, but also seems to falter when you get towards the mid of the game.
Which is really interesting, because if they're good at the end, if it is factual stuff for the end and the beginning, what happened to all that middle?
Yeah, and other walkthroughs would say, this cutscene happens, and then continue on with gameplay discussions, without even telling you what the cutscene actually was.
What is this, Metal Gear?
So, all cutscenes.
That is a good chunk of Metal Gear games. All
so
cutscenes.
this game, let me paint this for you.
It's Okami.
Features everything. It's a 2023 game, so it's a newer game.
Okay, so it's not Okami. Okay.
But it features spy infiltration like Metal Gear Solid, and shop management, and rhythm dancing games. And what else can I toss in here? A little bit of social media management, maybe? Fishing? Cave diving.
Never cave diving. Cave diving, not even once. I've just watched too many scary videos.
Also,
about it.
undertones about archaeology and environmentalism. You are not going to get this at all.
Is this Terraria?
No.
I feel like this feels like it's a farming sim with a lot of little mini-bit games.
So, interestingly, it is, most of what I've just mentioned are mini parts of a larger game.
Yeah. I was either that or I was like, this is an exclusive version of a Resident Evil game that I did not hear about.
interestingly, I did find this game when I was looking for games like Stardew Valley. Now, it's not like Stardew Valley in the grand scheme of things, but it definitely is a game that is very... You could play it forever. Like,
Oh,
it's one of those.
okay. I don't know if I know that game then. Unless it's like My Time in Portia?
No.
Okay.
Another one on the radar.
Um,
Want me just to tell you? I'll give you one more guess.
there's the other farming sim that's like more...
Don't do a farming sim.
It's not an actual
It's
farming
not an actual
sim.
farming sim. There is a farming mini game in here, but it's not the main game.
What is this, a version of Pokemon that I haven't played yet?
No, but that also features here.
Oh my gosh, we're catching monsters? What the heck?
No, not monsters.
Just actual animals?
Yes, but it's actually not the main game either.
I was gonna say this isn't like the story mode of Planet Zoo or something, is
No.
it?
Oh my god, that'd be...
Yeah, story mode in Planet Zoo would be interesting.
All right, we have way too long to go. We have so many pages.
Oh.
So
All right, do your reveal, Mystic.
this is the game Dave the Diver,
I know I've seen something about this.
because I've played it.
Okay, you've played Dave the Diver. But there's social media management
Yes,
And-
in a roundabout way, yes.
and all this other stuff.
Yes.
Okay, the cave diving makes the most sense now, which makes me disappointed because that's also the most dangerous thing.
2023 game developed and published by Mint Rocket. Physical release was published by Arc System Works.
Okay.
There's a tiny bit of controversy here, actually. Me saying developed and published by Mint Rocket might lead you to believe this is an indie title, and it has been up for indie awards
Okay.
numerous times. But Mint Rocket was spun up by Nexon, which is a massive publisher.
Oh.
You may have heard of MapleStory. That's one of their games.
I've not heard of that one, but
Josh Strafe Hayes will talk about that one, I'm sure. I think he has, actually.
oh, it's an MMO. Okay.
Yeah. I think, kind of.
P.S. If you haven't watched Josh Strafe Hayes, because even if you're not into MMOs, his
Yeah.
scathing review of MMOs is amazing, even when it's the good ones.
But Nexon is one of those huge, massive publishers in South Korea. This is
Okay.
a new subdivision that was spun off by them. Some people in the industry were annoyed by the fact that Dave the Diver was nominated for indie awards because it likely snubbed other great games that were more in line with the term indie. To their credit, Nexon themselves have said that while the game feels indie, it's not a label that fits the team at Mint Rocket very well.
So
It's
they've come out and said, like, look, you can, if you're going to promote it, that's fine, but that's not how we label ourselves.
I don't think they shy away from the term indie as a culture, but they are
Right.
not indie in terms of their funding and all that stuff.
Right. They're very corporate in
Yeah.
structure. Okay.
Also, full disclosure here, the game doesn't explain everything. This is like Stardew Valley. There's fan theories and a gameplay loop that can drag on forever. But we're going to unravel the main story eventually. There's a lot of side stuff we're going to fill in too.
Okay.
So, prologue. There are so many chapters to this game. Prologue. A sushi bar by the Blue Hole. We open with Dave. Yes.
The title just feels
A
weird.
sushi bar by the Blue Hole. So a blue hole is actually a real thing.
Okay.
A blue hole is basically a kind of secluded area. It is a part of there's plenty of these in the Caribbean I know of, but it is a area where there is a very direct drop off down into basically an underground cavern or something.
Okay.
And all sorts of weird creatures can be found in them sometimes.
Yeah, which is part of the appeal of cave diving. Now, unfortunately, it sounds like I'm going to start bringing up my horrified stance on.
Oh no, cave diving is horrific if you read
If
if you
you
watch
botch
certain
it?
YouTubes.
Yeah, if you budget. So, like, if you are a masochist like me when it comes to your anxiety, you may watch channels like Scary Interesting or Fascinating Horror. And a lot of those episodes will talk about tragic yet interesting events. And Scary Interesting in particular has a lot of videos about cave diving.
Yep.
It's fascinating because there's so much stuff that needs to happen if you're going to do cave diving right. You can still do everything right, and you can still get stuck and die due to lack
Yep.
of oxygen and everything else. It is insanely
So-
technical.
All that being said,
Mm-hmm.
I picked this because I wanted a a lighter game.
Which is hilarious. Look, I'm sure the game itself is not nearly as harrowing as actual
No,
cave
this is a
diving.
game. So despite how long my script is, this is probably one of the longer scripts I've written in the past year. Despite how long my script is for this,
Yeah.
this is a game that does not take its storyline 100% seriously.
Okay. Well, so I guess the general vague warning I'll say is there may be much whimsy here, but cave diving is anything but whimsical. Don't. It's the people who are not risk adverse love it, are dedicated to it, and can do a great job, but it can still get you in the end.
I mean,
Like,
I'm sure that there are certain wide caves, that or very well mapped ones that you can go on tours of.
No, not cave diving. Don't even, no.
No?
So the problem with cave diving in most particular is because since it's a contained system and it's usually doesn't, even if there's a tide going in and out, silt and dirt at the bottom getting stirred up can mess up your visibility really quick. So there's not really a quote unquote easy cave diving excursion you can do. Unlike when you do normal like scuba diving or going to the coral reef or anything like that in the ocean.
Okay.
That is actually because it's open, it's a lot safer. You just have to be better about your pressurizing and stuff. And it's still diving in general is technical. You have to, it's a very finicky art.
Right.
Or I should say a very finicky sport, not art. But cave diving in particular is really for the truly bold and almost fearless. I could go on forever about it from what little I know as an amateur who watches these videos, but just keep that in mind that it sounds like we're going to caught a lot of whimsy here, and I just want to caution anybody who decides they're going to get into cave diving because, ooh, pretty special creatures. No, don't do that. Get a drone, use the drone. Only if you are of a certain level of bravery should you even attempt to go through all the training to become a cave diver. That's all.
Okay.
All right.
So we open after the horrors of the deep have been unveiled upon us.
After Safi has spouted her anxiety rant, yeah.
We open with Dave lounging on the beach while on vacation. He gets a phone call from his friend Cobra. Cobra wants to meet with Dave. He offers him some awesome sushi. A fan of all things food, Dave flies out to the Blue Hole to meet with Cobra and have some sushi. Cobra, by the way, looks like he stepped out of a military film. I mean, to a degree. He's an investor. So unfortunately with all of this, there is a catch. Dave will have to go diving to catch the fish for said sushi.
Okay.
See, Cobra sees all of this as a business opportunity. Dave is not exactly enthusiastic about it, but dives into the water.
Okay.
After catching a few fish, it's back up to the surface where Cobra will introduce Dave to Bancho at the sushi bar. Bancho is a bit of a weird character. He looks like Samuel L. Jackson got really into Japanese culture and dedicated his life to being a sushi chef.
Also, where does the name Bancho come from? I've never heard anything like that, and I don't know if it's...
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. So
Yeah, is it a real name, or is it just like a nickname? I have so many questions.
Bancho is dedicated to the point that he is exemplary, but he is so focused on the process of making amazing sushi, he doesn't pay attention to stuff like the actual orders and simply makes whatever inspires him.
Then there shouldn't be a menu. It's just pre-fee at that point.
Bancho and Cobra want to start a sushi restaurant here at this giant blue hole and want Dave to catch the fish.
So a 3-person operation, basically just like a little shack.
It is kind of a shack at this point, yes.
Elite sushi place, yeah.
Before they can actually finish any of the deal making, though, an earthquake rumbles through and the sushi restaurant is in shambles.
Oh.
Back into the deep blue we go to catch more fish to help get money to fix up the place.
Okay.
Now, we quickly do find out that one thing is always changing in this game. The giant blue hole is weird. It changes almost every time we dive into it. There's like some aspects where it may stay the same if you're on a certain quest or whatever. But
okay.
Generally speaking, it changes every time you jump in. Some of the fish may change or be in different spots. So therefore, the menu at the restaurant will be changing all the time.
It sounds like a magical, mystical kind of blue hole, too.
Fish from all over the world end up in this blue hole, no matter where they're from.
Whether if they're freshwater or saltwater fish.
I don't know if it's quite that level. I think they're all saltwater, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
We get some more fish, and then we get another sampling of how this game is going to go. We can dive twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Then in the evening, we are to help Bancha out in the restaurant by designing the menu for the day.
Okay.
And also acting as waiter.
So it's a combination of like one of those fetch quest games, but then you end the day with Cooking Mama?
Yeah.
Or Diner Dash, essentially?
We also have to clean the plates, and this all has to be done as fast as possible so we get better tips.
Okay.
This includes filling drinks. Like, here's your green tea.
This is an interesting combo of stuff.
We're not even close to the fullness of this combo yet.
This is okay, but all right. I'm like, there's the
gameplay loop in this was actually the most praised part of this whole game. It got high praise. We're talking like Famitsu giving it 36 out of 40.
Oh wow. Well, because there's some people who really, I don't mind something that's a little more repetitive. I mean, I did the original Dark Cloud with its repetitive, like, generated caves. I have a lot of patience for that. But I think if you're the kind of person who likes the variety of different skill sets that you're using, which I know a lot of people who would want a game like that. Like, I think my mother in particular, who loves, like, a wackadoodle little, like, mini game structured kind of thing, would love that.
Yeah.
So, okay, we know what we're getting for her for Christmas now. We'll get her this game.
After a successful night, we shift from the hard tutorial mode to a more free-frame gameplay loop. Quests now may not necessarily be completed before we get more. We'll get sub-quests and everything.
Okay.
Our first quest is to delve into the ecology of the blue hole for a local biology graduate student named Ellie. We also meet Duff, a friend of Cobra's who also happens to be a weaponsmith. He'll build us an underwater rifle because in the Great Blue Hole, there are some dangerous sea creatures.
Sharks, I'm assuming?
Oh, we are going to go way past sharks in this game.
Way past sharks? What are we talking about? We have, like, fish people now?
Finally, we get contacted
didn't answer, guys. I'm very concerned.
Finally, we get contacted by Dr. Bacon, a researcher specializing in the Sea People civilization.
A Dr. Bacon?
Yes. And this is not the sea peoples of the late Bronze Age Eastern Mediterranean. This is a separate non-human species, essentially.
Wait. I'm still stuck on the name Dr. Bacon. This is like, what was the doctor name from Paradise Killer?
Paradise Killer? Yes, Dr. Doom Jazz.
Yes, Dr. Doom Jazz. Do you think Dr. Doom Jazz and Dr. Bacon hang out?
No, they don't.
I mean, understanding the difference between the games, probably not. But just if, like, they're real-world equivalents with those names, Dr. Doom Jazz and Dr. Bacon.
So, if you guys are interested in Paradise Killer, that was episode 55, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dr. Bacon is a researcher specializing in the Sea People civilization. So far in this game, we have been sticking to the shallows, kind of going no further than 50 meters. Dr. Bacon wants us to check out an artifact of the Sea People that might be around 70 meters deep.
Is this a guy who watched the Animal Planet mockumentary about mermaids and really earnestly believed it, like so many others apparently did? I'm just saying. That it's sounding like that right now.
He upgrades our suit for free to get to the medium depths, which go down to about 130 meters, and thus we end the prologue. Mm-hmm. Chapter 1, Traces of the Sea People. We manage to get down to the artifact, made sometimes difficult by the way the blue hole changes when we enter it. Upon grabbing the artifact, a giant squid will stir from its slumber, scaring Dave quite badly as it's absolutely enormous. Just this giant eye in the far distance looking at us.
Yeah, and P.S. Giant squids, absolutely real. 22-foot long squids are a thing.
This is more like Kraken or Cthulhu size. It is monstrous.
So we're like 100 feet long or something like
Probably
that.
Probably bigger than that even.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Nevertheless, despite it being this massive, we are just going to go right back to the surface. We got the thing. We're done.
Bye. Don't want to see you ever again, Kraken.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, no.
We will continue to work with Dr. Bacon, as well as Bancho, Ellie, Duff, all at Cobra's insistence, which Dave is not exactly happy about. He's basically being signed up for work without his consent.
He's essentially the chore boy for Cobra.
Everybody. Yeah.
Well, Cobra specifically. He's like, hey, do this friend a favor. Hey, do that friend a favor.
But Dave kind of sees no way out of it, especially since he really likes sushi.
I did it all for the sushi.
I mean, Dave looks like he eats a prodigious amount of sushi.
Is he the big guy?
He's a big guy, yeah.
It's a big guy. How much? What do you think his favorite role is? Or what is his favorite role?
I don't know, actually. I don't remember. Last time I played this was 2023, so.
Okay.
Speaking of which, Bancho Sushi is up and running again, and now we can
Yay.
also run more of the restaurant, doing promotional posts on Cooksta. Think Instagram for cooks and
Cooksta.
restaurant. Yeah. The more we grow the Cooksta, the more we can upgrade the place with more menu items, more staff, all that stuff. The next time we get in the water, though, we'll be greeted by a dolphin who will take us to another dolphin, that one is pink, trapped in netting. Freeing said dolphin will reward us with a pearl that we can sell eventually. We have no way of selling stuff yet. We'll get there.
Hope it's better than Hemingway's The Pearl. I hope it's not like a cursed pearl.
No, it's not. Next time we go to Bancho, we'll meet Yoshi, a old coworker of Bancho's who's less than impressed with Bancho's current offerings.
Okay, you're gonna mention Yoshi, and I know it's a person,
Yoshie, so not like the dinosaur. Sorry.
but I still am gonna see Yoshi from Mario because little buddy and I have been playing Mario Party
That's
so
fair.
much.
It's fair.
I can't not see it as Yoshi.
Bancho decides that he's going to show her what's what and decides to make whole roasted shark head. More on why later.
What?
Which means Dave will have to go hunting for white tip reef shark in the blue hole. By the way, white tip reef shark is listed as vulnerable on Wikipedia. Just FYI.
Bancho, come on, do better.
The blue hole is not real, though, so no worries.
Still, we should not be telling people to hunt sharks.
Yeah, so by the way,
We've been through enough.
I do believe the majority of the fish are real.
That would make sense.
So we're not going to do vulnerability or endangered levels for all of them. I just found this one interesting because it's a shark.
Well, also, just in general, don't hunt shark. They've been overfished in certain parts of the world. So
in my research, I did see one person who was a marine biologist complaining about this game and the fact that they're like, I love the game, but they really demonize sharks and they really shouldn't.
sharks are just fish predators, man. Like, you guys don't get mad at lions doing their lion thing. Why would you get mad at a shark doing their shark thing? Come on now.
When we finally complete the hunt, Yoshi is overjoyed with the resulting dish. Literally, the cutscene is like her surrounded by a bunch of hearts and like twirling.
I guess the soup's that good then.
And actually, she sticks around, becoming a headhunter for us, no pun intended, helping us find new staff.
Oh, if only if it was real.
Dr. Bacon eventually contacts us again. The relic we found is emitting a strange signal, and he's built a radar to track that signal. We follow it down into the depths where we find some ruins, but they are blocked off by a rock slide.
Not a rock lobster.
Not a rock lobster.
Oh, it's so excited.
We're going to rapid fire through a few things here. Cobra has a bomb of an idea to get past that rockfall. A bomb. We help search
well
for...
done, Mystic.
Thank
well
you.
played. Yeah.
We help search for delivery drone cargo to help that happen. Ellie comes back with a new ecology assignment, but it turns out we're just helping her fill out her EcoWatch social media list, so now we have that app to play with too.
How many social media apps are we going to need right now?
Oh, we're going to get a new one right here. An overweight Ash Ketchum named Sato, which is funny because in the Japanese version of Pokemon, Ash is named Satoshi, so this is...
So it's definitely a reference.
Yeah,
at
oh,
this
it's completely
point.
a reference. There's some
Oh
great
my
fan art I
gosh.
can show you later. Sato shows up and introduces us to Marinka, an ocean life trading card game.
No. Oh my gosh, there's so many things to keep. I'm like, this is a full-time job keeping up with all the mini games.
And yet
here.
you play The Sims, where it is a full-time job.
That's different. I'm writing the stories for people that I created in my own image, like God. That's different than this, where I'm the chore boy for a bunch of people who hang out around a sushi restaurant. Very different goals in mind for my game playing.
We also get our first staff member, Kyoko, who we hire because she is the tutorial hire and she's free.
Okay. That's easy for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cobra opens a shop which will sell a random selection of consumables, including the aforementioned bomb. We can also sell stuff to him. So that
Wait,
pearl...
we can sell the bomb?
No, we can sell like stuff like the pearl or other things we find to him.
Okay.
We blow up the rocks and find the Sea People record chamber, which houses a huge mural of a bearded merman with a crown, who we will come to know eventually is a very old king in olden times, not like he's living in old, named King Long.
King Long.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't go with Poseidon.
No.
Would have been the obvious choice.
A new group is introduced shortly when we resurface, Sea Blue, an environmentalist org, but a very violent one led by John Watson, an alleged ex-Navy SEAL. They were drawn here by the explosion we set off to get into the record chamber.
Interesting. So, are they kind of borderline terrorist organization?
It gets weird. They show up in just a raft with picket signs, but throughout the course of the game, we'll get to it.
Okay, we'll get to it. All right, I'm not going to preemptively guess.
Yeah, speaking of the record chamber, we get a cutscene of two sea people in the record chamber after Dave left it, so this is no ancient lost civilization. One of the two gets grabbed by a giant tentacle.
No, the squid is back. We're going to save this person or anything?
There are a few other things that happen. A dolphin rescue, another one.
Okay.
Another food critic mission. Then we get a mission to delve even deeper into the depths. We need a lamp for something that deep, so we call Duff, but he's in a bit of a mood. He has a delivery that got stuck in a shipwreck, and we need to get it for him before he will give us the lamp.
You need a boat, not a diver for that, I would... Well...
It's stuck
Never
underwater,
mind.
yeah.
Never mind.
Duff being the weapon guy, you might think this is some technical component or something, but no, it's a figurine of Leas-chan from the game Strastella, or Master of Eternity, depending on the region you're in. This is another game by Mint Rocket parent company Nexon.
So he's just a super fan.
Yes.
Getting his figurine and has decided to risk your life.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, this is not the...
These people do not respect Dave.
No.
Dave needs better friends. This is... So, if you're somebody like me who loves reading either the true or fake stories on Reddit, however you see it, this feels like a... This feels like a post on our relationship of being like, I think my friends only like me because of all the chores I do around the blue hole. Should I keep being friends with them? Like, this is starting to sound kind of sad.
We head down to the wrecked ship and find the pink delivery box, only for it to be taken by a giant tentacle.
Oh my gosh, this squid is such a rapscallion.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Eventually, skipping some more stuff, we get into a fight with a giant squid boss, and yes, this game has boss battles.
We have boss battles. We have social media. We have fetch quests for fish. We're hunting sharks. We're doing Diner Dash type things as well, running the restaurant.
Yes.
We're finding things for ecology studying girl Ellie. And we have, I mean, this is just so much.
And the trading card game, too.
And the trading card game, too. What the heck? There's the way you said it. It's like a partridge in a pear tree. What is this?
Defeating the squid, an injured sea people girl crawls out from the remains, another arriving shortly to pick her up. The sea person tries to swim to the surface, but gets startled by seeing Dave and swims back to where they came from. Bancho ends up serving the squid tentacle, and we end Chapter 1.
This is Chapter 1?
Yep, 6 more to go.
Guys, this is too much. This is just too... And still nobody... And this feels like... Can we at least, by Chapter 6, will Dave have a true friend?
I think so.
Oh my gosh, Mystic has to think about it. I don't know. I'll be the judge of that.
Chapter 2, Into the Deep. And we're going to stick to more of the main missions now. A lot of the previous stuff we went through was side quests.
Side quests and setting up things throughout the rest of the game, I imagine.
I just wanted to give you a sense for how the game really plays out with all these side things that you can do and everything. We're going to avoid most of them. They'll come up if they need to, but we're going to basically stick to main missions now.
So much. Guys, how do you keep up with all of that? Oh my gosh.
We end up in a fight with John Watson, who fires grenades at Dave, claiming Dave is wrecking the environment.
Yeah, that's environmental terrorism.
John does way more damage than we will ever do. Dave defeats him. He'll be back. Don't worry, he'll come back.
Don't worry, he says. The man with the grenades will be back to give you warmth and light.
Diving down into the depths, Dave finds a small cave with the duo of sea people occupying it. The girl seems to be collapsed on a platform, and the male is panicking. Unfortunately, Dave is able to communicate with them, so Dr. Bacon tells him to return to the boat. Dr. Bacon can make a translator, but we'll need some samples of writing, so down to the record chamber we go to find a stone tablet. Fair enough.
So we're getting the Sea People Rosetta Stone.
Essentially. Once the translator is completed, very rapidly, Dave is finally able to communicate with the sea people. The sea person male is shocked to hear Dave speak to him. He thought Dave might be something different, as Dave's body shape is much more rotund than the other humans he has seen.
That's fair.
Introducing himself as Suwam and their kind as low dwellers, he then introduces the injured female laying on the platform as the daughter of the sea people's village chief. Her name is Ramo.
Okay.
To treat Ramo, Suwam requires some medicinal herbs, but being unable to leave her alone, he requests Dave to help find these components. Specifying they need some feather coral and lily coral, as well as some way to make them edible, he basically leaves all this for Dave to figure out. Long story short, you find the corals, Dave brings them to their service, and Bancho cooks them into a porridge. Fair enough.
Wait, and then how does he transport the porridge down?
Just-
Wait. But like, is it in like a Go-Gurt packet? Like, how does he get it in the
we'll go with
wet
that.
water? Oh my gosh.
After she's given the porridge, Ramo is better. Not 100%, but better. Suwam tries to take the credit, but Ramo isn't having any of it. She'll have Dave carry her to their village. Suwam can go and scout the way. She's go off.
Oh, harsh. Okay. All right.
We'll have to dodge a bunch of dangerous creatures and such as she's like kind of riding on Dave's back.
Okay.
And then find the entryway blocked off by a collapsed tunnel. Skip forward. Getting some diving gloves, we manage to collapse the rock slide pile. With the way open, Dave wishes to leave. Basically, he's like, you can go home now, I'm done. But Ramo requests he come to the village and discuss something. Swimming through the
Does he have enough oxygen in his tank for all this?
So that's a good thing to pick up. We do have to keep in mind our oxygen all the time. There's oxygen bottles you can get. There's oxygen like reservoirs you can pick up. With the sea people, you do get some reprieve. When you get into their village, you don't need oxygen at that point.
Oh,
So,
interesting. Okay.
at least while you're there.
Okay.
Swimming through a dark passage, something spooks the sea people as a large shape swims past them. Ramo tells Dave to go ahead as their lookout. Swimming into the small tunnel leading deeper into the cave, we come face to face with a giant wolf eel.
Ooh.
Cue boss battle again. So
Oh
we've had
my
like
gosh.
3 or 4 boss battles. There's tons of boss battles. With the wolf eel defeated, Dave gathers up the spoils from the eel before heading to the doorway to the sea people village. Opening the gate, we come to a thriving village, canopied by a gargantuan tree with glowing golden fruit.
So do the sea people live in like a lower level of dry land?
No,
So it's still all water, but
it's
they
still
have
all
a
water.
tree.
They have a tree and waterfalls and rivers. And I did see somebody ask when I was doing my research, well, like, they should remove these. This makes no sense. And people were responding, you can have different levels of salinity. It will act like an actual, like, you can find this online, actual waterfalls underwater.
So it is a thing that can happen.
Yes.
So it's like one kind of water is too...
The density of the water is different due to the salinity of the water.
The salinity of the
Yeah.
water. Okay. All right. All right.
But yeah, it looks cool. It took me a while to realize that they were swimming when I was watching, because they're swimming, but my brain kept seeing waterfalls and just not
Right. Waterfalls
correlating.
and rivers.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're walking across some terrain near it, right?
No.
Yeah.
Almost immediately, we get stopped by a pair of guards before they take us to Ramo's father, the village chief, Tenzin.
Okay.
Ramo speaks on our behalf, saying she wants Dave to help them figure out what is causing the tremors, like the one that wrecked Bancho's way back in the prologue.
Okay.
Or why the glacier is melting. More on that later.
The glacier is melting?
Yes.
Wait, there's a glacier?
Sure.
We haven't mentioned this glacier before.
It's underwater.
It didn't float up?
No. It's
What?
kind of stuck.
Under what?
Rock. Look. It's a deep blue hole that draws fish from all over the world. Things are not going to make sense.
I know. Look, I understand that we're following sea people to their waterfall and river in the water-based town.
Yes.
But also, I'm still looking at Mystic skeptically, like, really? Really, guys?
Even though she is able to talk her father into giving us a chance with a helpful tremor to make her point, Tenzin still wants us to prove ourselves to the villagers and earn their trust. Fair enough.
Okay.
Chapter 3, a request from the Sea People.
Okay.
There's no main quest in this chapter, really. Keep in mind as we delve into just the main quest now, and we're still limited to 2 dives each day. We need to keep our eyes on our O2 and other equipment. We have to keep hunting fish for the restaurant, hunt for special stuff for VIP orders. We have to work a shift at the restaurant at night, make the menu, run the social media, get the staff. It's a lot. There's also side quests, which is the entirety of this chapter. We'll get to that.
Wait, does Dave ever get any time or anything that he likes to do for himself? Is Dave able to take a day off? Is Dave able to just do a day where he can do whatever dive he wants?
Yeah, you can generally just do what you want. Aside from the restaurant, like the getting the fish for the restaurant. If you want to keep money coming in, you need to do the restaurant stuff. But a lot of these quests are kind of a loose, you can do it as you go type thing. You can focus on doing this, you can focus on doing that.
But still, so every day he still has to dive for the restaurant and work at the restaurant.
Yes.
And he doesn't get a day off.
No, I don't remember if there's actually...
Even after discovering a new race of people underground and saying, hey, can I get a vacation to help them out with the tremors thing? No, you still have to run sushi fish.
Yep.
This Dave doesn't get a break. This poor abused man. Like,
Dave is stuck in a gameplay loop. It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, pretty much. It's essentially what's going on.
So this chapter is also where we find out about Bancho and Yoshi, and an incident caused Bancho to quit his job at a 5-star because he was frankly stifled. A wealthy patron, I believe she was a diva of some sort, found his safe food. Basically, they forced him to make just a shrimp roll.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, fine, I'll make a shrimp roll. She's like, this is not good. This is uninspired. So he had secretly prepared at the same time a whole roasted shark head.
Oh.
She was aghast.
Okay, because it was too ghoulish, I'm assuming.
Yeah, left a terrible review, and Bancho quit basically right then and there. Yoshi is thankful at this point that for all we have done to help Bancho succeed here.
Right.
Like, Yoshi is probably one of the few people who actually values Dave.
Oh, okay.
At this point, like, everyone, I think, I don't think anyone is dismissive of Dave or not grateful when he helps them.
Right.
But Yoshi is the first one who's kind of feels more genuine about it.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. Okay.
Dr. Bacon shows up, and Dave explains everything that's transpired, with Dr. Bacon saying Dave should help the Sea People. So we do a bunch of small side jobs to help them out and earn their trust. So these are all side quests, like deliver lunches to the guards, finding a stone tablet with an ancient wedding song on it, stuff like that. A few revolve around the divine tree and its fruit, which has energy-bearing properties to the point that they don't eat the fruit. The fruit is a power source for the people.
Oh, wow. So it's like...
It's batteries. It essentially.
They're just
like,
you can grow batteries on trees. How novel.
Right? Chapter 4, Abandoned Cave. Tenzin sends Suwam with us to get into the abandoned cave to seek out a mural. Suwam doesn't go with us, just opens the door, because Suwam doesn't do anything much for most of the game.
Okay, so no wonder Ramo's like, you know what, Suwam, I'm not going to give you credit this time.
We quickly find out that there might be a good reason for his reluctance to enter, though, as we're introduced to the Gaidon, mutated ancient sea people trapped within the dark tunnels.
Why did it suddenly remind me of Dragon Age right now?
They can't get to us at this point, so we keep exploring. Eventually we find a mural, and even more eventually we find a stone key, the real reason we're here. Unfortunately, grabbing said key causes the tunnel to collapse, which frees the Gaidon. And we have to beat a hasty retreat while dodging the mutated sea people who are impervious to our attacks.
This feels like Dragon Age fans, bear with me. If Kalsharok suddenly had access to Orzammar and wanted revenge, this is the plot line. This is what would be happening. This is insane. Okay. So now we don't just have sea people, we have irradiated sea people.
Mutated sea people, and they're older sea people. They're not the same like generation. These are ancient sea people.
By ancient, do you mean were they frozen in time, or by ancient do you mean there was a long time ago where their lines differed?
I don't think there's a differentiation in the line. I think the line is actually consistent. It's not like a different race or whatever. Something happened to them. We'll get to it.
Okay.
Just as we're about to be safe, John Watson shows up in an armored suit, like big, huge excavator type, like exosuit.
So, like from Aliens. He's from Aliens.
Well, not Alien, exosuit. Like, basically, if Dave is able to survive because of the upgrades he has, John is surviving due to advanced technology of robot scuba suit.
But that's what I'm saying. So, Aliens.
Okay, sorry, I misheard.
The excavator, Sigourney Weaver.
Okay, yeah.
Get your hands off her, you, and I will not finish that. Okay, that's what I'm trying to reference.
He starts firing homing missiles at Dave.
Oh, and there's homing missiles? Watson, get a grip.
So basically, since we can't damage his suit, we have to make the homing missiles hit him. So eventually he's defeated.
Gosh. What kind of ballet are you swimming in this water? What the heck?
Eventually he's defeated and escapes again, and we bring the stone key to Tenzin.
Oh, right.
He tells us of the Gaedon, how about 800 years ago, the Sea People were at the height of their civilization with devices more technologically advanced than that of humans at the time, thanks to the divine tree and its fruit. During this period, though, one of the senior technicians, Dash, Dasche, wished to harness the tree's power to be utilized for other purposes. He secretly did so by processing some of the fruit to then modify the anatomy of some of his fellow sea people. In the beginning, the results were promising, with the modified individual showing greater strength than those not affected.
Okay.
However, one day it all went wrong, and the modified individuals' bodies changed, with twisted limbs and pale bodies and a new intolerance for light. Before that happened, though, Dasche also infused the ability into an Amelocaris named Yowie. We'll get to Yowie later.
An Amelocaris?
So Amelocaris is this old fossil. I think it's a fossil. I don't know if it exists anymore. It's definitely prehistoric. Essentially, it translates to, I think, like not like shrimp. It's basically this weird prehistoric looking creature. It has like weird little finny things on it, and yeah, it's weird.
Okay, so we essentially have gotten from sea Kalshrok to now sea super mutants. We're just melding all my favorite genres into one weird game.
Yeah. Jeez. So King Long attempted to stop all this in its tracks by going into the control room. Basically, he had built control rooms into the divine tree to kind of control the flow of energy and stuff.
Yeah.
This doesn't actually help, but he locks...
Okay, so now we're at... what was that Cyan game we did the playthrough of?
You want to be more specific?
The one with the trees, where you have to plug in the trees and reroute. Abduction. So we have Dragon Age, we have Fallout, we have Abduction. How many other game plots are we fitting into this game that already has 6 other side games?
Yeah. So basically, King Long locks the mutated beings, now referred to as the Gaedons, in an abandoned cave. While he was successful in this, he suffered a fatal wound in the process and died.
Okay.
That was all a big cutscene we get, by the way.
So these affected sea people, are we assuming they're capital E evil, or
they're at best zombies?
Oh,
yeah, at best.
Okay. So they don't really have free will or anything like that. Okay.
Chapter 5, Frozen Passage. Dave is to meet Suwam by Tenzin's place and then head to the door to the Glacial Passage. The Glacial Passage is rife with puzzles. We're hitting buttons in the right order, move walls, dodging Gaedon, rotating tunnels, all the fun stuff.
Okay.
We do discover that the golden tree fruit melts ice. Again, it is a source of power. So it's
a radiated sea fruit. That's just... I don't know how I didn't realize that till now. It's a radiated sea fruit. Josh, does Dave die of some sort of horrible tumor on his face or something? Jeez.
So we bring some of that to the blocked passages, melt the ice covering it, and a laser suddenly pops out from behind the ice into a large mirror. This mirror become a big plot point. Well, not plot point. It's a big part of this level, but it's not.
I was ready for you to say sharks with lasers on their heads.
Unfortunately, a rock is still in the way. Luckily, we get a mission from Cobra to get his crowbar back that was lost in the same shipwreck that Duff's figurine was shipped in. We get the crowbar, move the rock, head down to the depths, skip.
How convenient the crowbar situation is right now.
We are faced with a bunch of mirror/laser puzzles as we traverse the corridors. Basically, it's puzzle central in this area.
Okay.
We come face to face with a giant Gaidon.
Oh, a giant
one that looked suspiciously like the king in all the murals we found.
Like King Long.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a boss fight, but it's a boss fight in the way that you kind of run away from the boss. You know?
Yes, a chasing boss fight. Yes.
And don't get hit, basically. Traverse the tunnel back towards the giant mirror. Just as we're about to be grabbed, Suwam actually does something remotely useful for the first time and grabs Dave just as the rocks start to fall on the giant mutated creature.
Thank you, Suwam. You may go now.
He literally gives a thumbs up.
Yeah, I did a thing. Aren't you proud of me?
The sea people gift Dave some fabric to make a new suit to help him survive in colder water, because we're getting toward the glacier part of this.
Yes.
Which means a new suit has to be made, so we're kind of stuck in terms of progressing further into the depths on our own. Dr. Bacon says we'll need something that will automatically adjust to water pressure, basically a regulator of some type for the suit.
Yes,
like
that makes sense.
Like part of the suit that John Watson was firing rockets from. Problem is, that one was broken. Cobra says he'll try to think of something.
You know, I just want to say I was reminded earlier just in my own head about how I had mentioned about how there might be whimsy here, but the cave diving is actually dangerous. I think despite the whimsy, they've made cave diving just as dangerous as it is in real life. It's just dangerous with a lot of like fantastical beasts and creatures and strange civilizations rather than, you know, the oh my gosh, I stirred the silt and now I've lost my way and I don't know how to get back to the surface in time.
Also in Chapter 5, we play as Dr. Bacon.
We play as Dr. Bacon.
There's a segment where he plays Dr. Bacon as he investigates an old lost cave on land and discovers that the ancient humans and sea people actually traded and had good relations. The sea people even gifted fruit of the divine tree to the humans, but they couldn't communicate.
Uh-oh.
So the humans didn't understand that these were a power source and ate them, resulting in their deaths, which led to war.
Yeah, if you're not able to communicate, that's definitely going to be something that you don't understand.
Yep.
You're like, oh, this looks like a pear. I love pears. Oh, God!
Yeah. Chapter 6, Melting Glacier. Cobra's plan is for Dave to infiltrate the Sea Blue organization's compound and steal the part we need. That's his plan.
For what, again?
For this part that will be basically a pressure regulator for this new suit. We've not touched on it really, but the game will throw some random stuff. Well, we did touch on it a little bit, but we've not delved into it too much. The game throws all this stuff at you gameplay-wise, on top of everything else you do in this game, from diving, fishing, fighting bosses, exploring the depths, managing the menu, social media, staffing the restaurant, being a waiter at the restaurant, managing your own social media jobs like that eco one.
Yeah.
Playing the collectible fish card game against Sato. There's also a rhythm minigame where Duff has dreams about his favorite waifus. There's farming on land to get wheat and eggs for certain sushi recipes. This game tosses a lot of curveballs at you, so of course there is a stealth infiltration segment.
I really just want to go back to when I thought this was going to be Metal Gear with really long, unnecessary cutscenes. I think I would have been less shaken up all over the place. I would have known what to expect. But instead, I've been just tossed in so many different directions that I log for Metal Gear. I can't. This is so much, Mystic. Like, how much is this game gonna? Like, only a corporate company who has that much money could throw this many mini games.
So Mint Rocket was literally designed to be a place that just makes games that are fun. Like, that's the idea. It's like, this is the place we go. It's not going to be serious storylines. It's not going to be this. It's just going to be fun.
So a lot of... Now, I'm glad this is fun for a lot of people, but I don't think this would be my kind of fun just because there's just so much... I do this thing in certain games. This is part of the reason I haven't played Animal Crossing in a while, where there are things that I have to do once I know some of the pieces of the game, and it becomes a chore. Like, it used to be that if I was going to play Animal Crossing, I would have to do an hour, because first I would have to tend to the whole garden, and then I would have to make sure I hit all the rocks. I'd have to make sure that there's certain things you have to do every day that are a little different. And or you have to check, the Able Sisters shop. You have to check your mail. You have to, there's just so many different things. Like, you have to talk to every friend. And if somebody's building something, you got to see it, or cooking something, you got to make sure you get that recipe.
And this is why you get angry with me and Buddy when we're playing Stardew Valley, and we're just like, we're going mining. And you're like, have you talked to anybody yet? Like, who? We haven't talked to anybody yet.
The thing I like about Stardew Valley is that a day only lasts 20 minutes, so you cannot get lost in I have to do. Yes, you could in the farm in the morning if you're like, okay, I have to check my machines and everything. But after a point, you get a recipe for a computer that lets you know what you should or shouldn't be checking. And honestly, after a point, you're so rich, it doesn't matter. Whereas with Animal Crossing, it's like, but even if I have all the money in the world, what if I want to craft the thing that I need gold nuggets but then what if I miss out on this recipe? What if I don't have this recipe yet? I don't have the recipe for this last piece of furniture in my favorite furniture set. And I have to go to somebody else's island because maybe I'll get it from their other friend. But when are they on? And yeah. So a game like this is not fun for Safi. This is way too much. And I feel like, but I have to do the game, and then I have to update the social, and then I have to make sure Diff gets his 6th waifu. Like, I just could not. I can see it now. This is not a game made for my brain. It's not made for my brain. I'm happy to admit that some things in the world are not made for me.
Well, you're still going to play it.
No, it's fine. I'm sure I'll have it'll be fine for an hour, the first hour. It's not going to be 60 hours of me going like, I don't know what to do.
Now you've done it. They're going to vote for this to be one of our Let's Plays.
No. You don't understand. Mystic's going to play it because I'd be tearing my hair out. Absolutely tearing my hair out. I would have so much stress. I'd quit the podcast. I'd be, Mystic, find a new wife. I'm done. I can't do this.
All right, so back to our infiltration of the Sea Blue organization base. One of the first things we find, and this is a callback all the way to Chapter 1, is that Sea Blue is not exactly environmentally conscientious as we may have thought.
Did we think that?
I mean, no, John Watson does blow things up a lot. But okay. So one of the first things we find is that they are literally processing dolphin meat for sale. They're the ones who are capturing the dolphins.
What? Dolphins?
Yeah.
Okay, one thing that I'll share that's very unique about me, and Mystic knows about this, is that I have vowed not to eat anything that I think has any sapience or sentience. Dolphins are on that list. Dolphins? We're going to eat. So it's basically like eating. You might as well eat the sea people at that point, in my mind.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Pretty evil people in Sea Blue.
Yeah.
We eventually find the part at the top of their base, having dodged cameras and guards throughout our exploration of the structure. And it's not... Okay, so it's an homage to, like, Metal Gear. It's not as intricate as, like, a Metal Gear would be.
Do we get under a box?
No. From what I remember, the guards aren't exactly the most attentive. You are a rotund guy in a wetsuit, and they will look right at you from 20 feet away and not notice you. Huh? So, yeah.
I could see the little question marks over their head right now.
But we get to the top, we get the part, and we even make a daring escape diving out of a window before we can get caught.
Wait, diving out a window. So we're above the sea level. Okay, I just want to make sure because we spent so much time underwater that I was like, wait, we can dive out of a window?
But we don't, because before this point, we've been also farming on land to get wheat and eggs for certain recipes.
Oh, that's right. Because apparently we needed that tamago so bad.
After some more side missions, we're off to the glacier itself. This all gets complicated. We find a stone tablet that Dr. Bacon can't decode, so we take it to the temple of the Sea People Village to speak with Niamo. He tells us that there are 3 doors in the glacial area. Inside each door is a switch, and activating the switches will let us into the Divine Tree control room.
So now we have a water temple like Legend of Zelda. How many video games have we fit into this video game? I cannot deal.
The stone slab we found is a spell that will open the door for us. Niamo suggests we take Suwam with us to perform the spell.
You just need to make it like a flute or something. I suddenly have like this idea of like it just takes it like the Ocarina of Time. What the heck?
Niamo suggests we take Suwam with us to perform the spell and do something useful again. He doesn't, skipping forward again, past
playing the ocarina?
No, past riding the beluga and fighting a phantom jellyfish.
Wait, we ride a beluga?
Yeah, because the beluga is kind of like a taxi service for the sea people. And
what? The way you said that so blasé. I said, wait a second. dude, we did not talk about beluga taxis this entire time. What? Oh my gosh. Those poor little beluga, what are you doing to them?
It kind of reminds me of, so in Guild Wars 2, there's especially when you get to End of Dragons, they kind of realize that traversing the environment sometimes kind of is a little boring. So they have around the End of Dragons era, they have raptors that you can jump on and they will take you to places. So they're raptor taxis.
So wait, nobody's talking about dinosaurs are back? That's not...
Oh, no, that doesn't matter in Guild Wars.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about Guild Wars.
Sorry.
I'm okay. Sorry.
Just to throw another game at you.
The whiplash I am experiencing. The raptor taxis in Guild Wars make more canonical sense than beluga taxis in this game. And I know we just met the sea people, but beluga taxis? Are you kidding me? They have fruit that has unlimited power, like plutonium. And instead of building their own vehicles that they could use on their own on the reg and just swim about over to different parts of their sea empire, beluga, hey, I want to give you a tip of 5 seashells if you take me across the river.
No, it's part of their community. It's not like they're just borrowing a beluga. Its home is here.
You can't borrow a beluga. It has rights, sir.
So anyway, past riding the beluga and fighting a phantom jellyfish boss on the hunt for the last switch, we are again treated to a new game.
The phantom jellyfish is probably the most credible thing you've said in the last 30 minutes. Oh my gosh.
So on the hunt for the last switch, we are again treated to a new gameplay mechanic as we have to control Dave and Suwam, first by trading off and picking the best for a spot. Basically, you can switch back and forth like we did with Ica and Vice. You switch back and forth. And then you control them in tandem at the same time. Use it if you're on a keyboard using WASD and Shift and arrow keys and right Shift to control them both at the same time.
No. It's just the Michael Scott meme. No, I can't.
So we fight another boss, a Helicorpion.
A what?
So if I remember correctly, this one has this is a real thing. It's this weird fish that has almost looks like a rotary saw on it, but it's not. It's just like a curved part of its jaw that has spines.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes, I know, because it whips it out and catches prey that way. Yeah, yes, I know.
We finally have all the switches activated. We head down to the control room door, only to have another fight with John Watson in a submersible, and we can't do anything than run. Luckily, and unluckily, the submersible is eventually destroyed by a Chronosaurus, which we then have to fight.
A Chronosaurus? Okay. Mystic, you're going to have to explain to me what a Chronosaurus is. John Watson in a submersible is obviously just a hypocrite in a sea trench coat, essentially, which is essentially most of the bad guys in modern indie video games in particular.
So the Chronosaurus is obviously in real life extinct genus of basically a plesiosaur, basically a water dinosaur type thing.
Oh, plesiosaurs. I do love that. So
we have to fight the
Chronosaurus. The magical Leopleurodon.
Yeah. We have to fight the Chronosaurus. Basically, this is a lot for our friendly diver who just wanted some sushi.
I just wanted some sushi and maybe some friends who didn't ask so much of me. Here I am saving a whole sea empire. What is this?
So
Can I get a beluga ride back?
You can ride the beluga, yes.
Oh my gosh.
To get into the control room will take some time, so Dr. Bacon will use a drone to cut the roots that are blocking the door from opening, the roots of the divine tree. And so we move on to Chapter 7, Broken Control Room.
I thought there were only... Oh, you said there were 6 more chapters.
Yeah.
I thought there were only 6 chapters. We're at the last one, I hope. Because I can't keep up. I'm so rattled right now. How many more games are you going to fit in this game?
At least 2 more at the end because we have DLC that we'll mention.
Oh, jeez.
This place has been infested. Remember the Amelocaris named Yowie that I mentioned earlier? It's had kids in the meantime, and they are all over the place.
Oh, dear.
The danger level is so high the game breaks the 4th wall before you dive in, with Dave saying he should have his best gear before facing the final boss of an RPG.
That's fair. Honestly... Thank you, game, for that warning. We needed that.
Eventually, we find the young Yowie attacking the divine tree's core.
Oh, wow.
And its efforts to fight off the infestation are the reason for the earthquakes plaguing the sea people and the blue hole in general. Basically, the divine tree is shaking the infestation off at its core. Once Dave clears up the infestation, the ancient OG Yowie shows up using the drone that kind of got us into the door in the first place in battle because it's been modified to have a gun on it. This basically turns into like a bullet hell type thing where like Yowie is on one side shooting and we're just moving up and down. Like,
oh, jeez. Oh, no.
we get Yowie stuck in the roots of the tree. Just then, Tenzin, Suwan, Ramo, and the gate guards from the village all show up and help Dave aim this ancient cannon at Yowie and power it up with tree fruit, hitting Yowie with a huge blast, killing it for good.
Whew, are we done?
There's a huge celebration filled with sushi at Bancho's. Ramo and Suwan even surface. They don't come out of the water, but they surface. Though Suwan isn't sold on these surface dwellers yet, Ramo is kind of like amazed and in awe.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to delve into most of the epilogue for the characters because we even cover most of them, but everyone gets something. Duff gets his figures again. Bancho continues his sushi chef career with a new protege with Yoshi sticking around in the background. Dr. Bacon still gets artifacts and such from Dave's dives, so he's happy. Cobra gets some bad news, but we have no idea what. Might be DLC related, but I am not sure about that at this point. As for Dave, he finally gets to relax a little, enjoy his sushi, diving in the water, see the statue the sea people made in his honor.
Oh, that's great.
And has dreams of diving in outer space. As for that DLC, we're not going to dive into it. This
Okay.
episode is long enough already. I just want to
Jeez.
mention that 2 of the DLCs are time limited, with the Godzilla one already expired.
Oh, wow.
And the other time limited one is related to the Yakuza franchise, which is on my radar to cover at some point. And the last DLC is the Dredge content pack, which allows for Dave to encounter the horrors from the game Dredge, which is another game on my radar.
So the DLCs are essentially, hey, we have connections with all these other fun properties. Do you want to get in on this?
Yeah. So there's a few things to look forward to. I'm done with this script. We're done.
Oh, jeez. Guys, that was a rough one. It just kept becoming more and more games.
Do you see why the script had me pulling my hair out?
Yes. Yes. And everything. You know what? It felt like The Simpsons because it did everything. It did everything. How many different games did I feel like was either referenced or had an idea in there that they took, or either they took, or it was similar enough that you felt like
No, I did see some people on the community saying that as you're playing, it does kind of feel like it. Once you reach the sea people, and like their stuff also becomes part of your plate to like the spinning plates you're handling, it does kind of drag a little bit. It starts to become a little too much.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, I just wanted to fish and run a sushi place.
Right.
At the same time, it's a fun game. I played it. I didn't end up beating it, but I had fun for the 12 hours I played it or whatever.
Like, at that point, then you're like, look, I'm just gonna play Subnautica for the relaxation. At that point, like,
God.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, that's Dave the Diver, and there's a lot.
Dave the Diver.
We didn't even cover the majority of the characters. There's side characters and stuff that we can go into that have their stories and stuff.
The name is so simple for such an outrageous story. It is.
It kind of reminds, not in terms of the game's scope, but it kind of reminds me of Power Wash Simulator.
That's what I was just going to say. Because you're like, oh, this is going to be fun. It's going to be simple. It's going to be, wait a second. There's a mystery here. Wait, what is going on? The time travel? Yeah, that's the same feeling I had just now. I feel like Power Wash Simulator, though, since it's only one style of gameplay, it kind of makes it easier to embrace it.
Yeah.
Where, of course, for somebody like me in particular, you're saying, oh, yeah, all this crazy comes with a new minigame. And I'm like, that's a burden. I don't want to take on that burden. Please don't give it to me.
Yeah.
But I will do an hour for the fans. Oh, my gosh.
So thank you guys for listening. That hour will be the week after this episode goes, the Thursday after this episode goes live for everybody.
And then alternate Thursdays, we're still doing Mass Effect 2.
Yep.
We are.
By the time this comes out, we'll probably be done with Lair of the Shadow Broker, and our patrons will then vote for what we'll be doing next in Mass Effect 2.
Another reason to become a patron. You get votes, especially when Mystic remembers to post them.
Fair.
I love you very much, but also it has happened.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody. And now I'm going to take a beluga taxi home.
Bye.
Bye.